Okay, we're 10 minutes late. Sorry about that. I mean, I'll shoot with you guys. I literally just got off work like not very long ago because we're 10 minutes late. And sorry, apparently I hit the button at the wrong time because I'm an idiot.
Reverb.
Time in a row we've done that accidentally. Sorry, guys. So yeah, we're here to talk a little bit of professional wrestling here on the Popcast Network once again. It is Monday, and that means it's time for the Monday Wrestling Podcast. My name is Owen, and I'm your moderator for this evening. Joining me, as always, we have Ashley.
How do you do?
Of course, we're getting to one of my favorite parts of the year where actually I'm not a moderator, and that is the fact that Wrestle Kingdom is not very far from now.
Yeah.
And I can assure you right now that I'm actually off that day. So
3 a.m. then?
could happen. I guess we'll see.
3 a.m. your time, at least. 8 a.m. my time.
Yeah. We shall see. No promises. So we've got a little bit of everything tonight. We talked a little WWE, a little NXT, a little Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact, maybe some stuff about All Elite.
The only real news on that is they filed for another trademark.
I saw that, yeah.
But that's it. You won't be finding, considering the last being the Elite video, which came out today.
I haven't watched yet.
All points to New Year's Eve.
Oh boy.
So that's going to be, I think, where the announcement happens.
I'm excited.
When they'll put it up, though, it could be like 23:59. They could put it up right as it turns New Year. The question is where, though?
We shall see.
Because they are West Coast, so in all seriousness, the first thing we need to actually talk about is MMA.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because I don't know whether you've been keeping track of this, Owen.
Nope.
Because this is, you thought WWE making people work Christmas was bad. So UFC 232 is this weekend.
Right.
In Vegas and all that. Except John Jones has fucked it up for everybody. So, yeah, it was supposed to be at the T-Mobile Arena in Paradise. But basically, Jones did a drugs test. And they found a trace amount of Trinabol in Jones's system. Now, because it was trace, it's not enough that he's going to get banned or anything. But the key thing is that that's the same substance that he tested positive for, last year that led to this ban?
Oh, no.
Or that led to the suspension that he had? So, because of these results only coming out basically yesterday, I think it was Sunday or maybe Saturday, I'm not sure. The Nevada State Athletic Commission don't have the proper time to investigate this, and therefore they can't have the fight happen on their. The John Jones can't fight in Vegas. However, the California State Athletic Commission has hopped in. And said that they will give John Jones a license. The other bit of news is the VP of Health and Performance at UFC said that USADA, in conjunction with other organizations, believe that the test is a pulsing effect and not a new ingestion of the substance. That's what they believe. Yeah. There's other people that say otherwise, like Cormier. Like, he was just tweeting, he's done it again. So the knock-on effect is the fight and the card is still happening, except it's going to be at the Forum in Inglewood, California. On 6 days' notice, with people having already bought tickets to Vegas and travel arrangements to Vegas. Tickets go on sale Wednesday for this event. I'm sort of speechless by this. I think PR-wise, this is a disaster for UFC.
I'd say so.
Although Dave has said free bit of advice for people looking to make a stand, don't strategize and release it on Twitter. But yeah, it's just, Cormier's been very vocal about it, but obviously, he's busy with heavyweight stuff. Anyway, one of the guys though who is on the card, Corey Anderson, he'd released a tweet which was actually a picture of whatever he was thinking, which said, if we all said no, we won't travel again, would they just take Jones off the card and keep it in Vegas? Or book 11 new flights, continue to move to LA and keep the main event the same? A lot of money's been sent in travel fees for my family to be in Vegas for this fight. I'm not even mad, just disappointed in the company. I bust my ass every day, make sure my piss and blood is clean every day, and represent myself like a professional every day. For what? Just so clowns who sell a lot of tickets and make a lot of money could fuck up every day and still get a pat on the back and told, don't worry, it's not your fault, because at the end of the day, they sell. I'm also currently on my 5-hour flight to Vegas with my wife, who's 7 months pregnant, on the border of not being able to travel, and spent an hour and a half walking through Newark shit show of an airport. Doesn't like New Jersey either, or at least Newark Airport. Now we have to land, get our shit, figure out what's next, load up and hassle through the airport and travel again. The law says drive sober or get pulled over. The UFC should be pissed clean or hit the streets, even if you're making loads of money. But again, I'm not pissed, just highly disappointed. I've seen stories from fans that were saying they were going to this show, and they'd made all the travel and hotel commitments that they now don't know what to do. The interesting thing is, they are charging much less for tickets because it's such short notice. Because they were expecting to get a sort of $6 million gate in Vegas. Now, apparently, they're only hoping to get a $1 million gate. So they're taking a big financial hit as well for transferring everything just for one fight and one star. Which, if he loses to Gustafsson in the rematch, they really did it for nothing. If Jones doesn't win, he's ruined thousands of people's lives. Not just the fighters, but obviously all the fans that were going to be going in attendance. There is a $300 front row price that goes on sale noon Wednesday for those that already have the tickets to Vegas. And the tickets go on to the sale to the general public if they haven't. Basically, there's a 2-hour pre-window for anybody that can make the trip from Vegas to LA, for people that have the right to sort of claim tickets for the show that they couldn't go from the show they couldn't go to the rescheduled event. Then the Fight Club members' window is like 2 till 3, and then general sale is at 3 p.m. But yeah, we're doing it this short notice. I think it's an absolute clusterfuck. I just really don't know. I know they want the card to happen because obviously they just had. I don't know even whether we talked about it last week. I don't think we did. They literally cancelled 233 from happening because of the Robbie Lawler Ben Askren fight. Sorry, it was Dillashaw and Cejudo, but then that got injured. So then it got moved, and then it sort of left nothing there to be happening. And they moved all the fights, like the Robbie Lawler Ben Askren ones, are now moved to 235 a few months later. Dominic Cruz against John Lineker is going to be on the ESPN Plus debut. A few of them, quite a lot of them actually, have been moved to the ESPN main debut. So yeah, with that happening, what, 2 weeks ago, and now this with the rescheduled venue, it's sort of been a shit month for them, in all honesty. Although figures weren't too bad for Fox, at least in terms of the Lee Aquatina match from last weekend. Not this weekend just gone, but the weekend before. I don't know. It seems stupid. I mean, from your, not as an MMA fan, but just from sort of, I mean, you are sort of in the events business, #Street of the Year. What do you think about all this scheduling stuff? Oh God, has he gone to sleep? What? As I say, with you being in the events business and everything, what's your take on all this?
I mean, it's supply and demand. It really is. Like, it's one of those things that they gotta watch what they do, because they tick off the wrong people, they're gonna burn a lot of bridges with their fan base. And that's a very dangerous proposition right now.
And especially considering the year-end show is normally one of their big ones.
They don't have any drawing cards available left right now. Like, who is the top draw in UFC right now?
Cormier, I'd say, is pretty big because of the fight with Lesnar, whenever that's happening. The sad thing is, Jones is still a draw. That's, I think, why they did the schedule change. Because Jones is a draw.
That's a major
they lost Rumble Johnson to go to Bellator because I think they're basically winding down the flyweight division.
Right.
At some point. The problem is as well with everybody else that's sort of already scheduled for fights or has already had fights. If you do get a space like this, it sort of screws it up. Apparently as well, because the co-main for that event is actually what a match I'm more interested in, because I've not thought greatly of John Jones since his multiple drug test issues. Gustafsson's had a really good fight with Jones, which Jones probably shouldn't have won in the judges' opinion. Very sort of similar to the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight that happened a few weeks back. But yeah, the co-main for this is the women's featherweight title bout with Cyborg defending against Amanda Nunes, with Amanda Nunes trying to be, I think, the 4th two-weight champion. And I think the 3rd ever two-weight champion concurrently, because she is a bantamweight champion. So if she beats Cyborg, she's I say technically she's with Cormier, but because the light heavyweight championship is on the line with Jones and Gustafsson, I guess basically Cormier's dropped it. Carlos Condit's also on that card versus Michael Chiesa. El Latifi versus Corey Anderson. And Chad Mendes versus Alexander Volkanovski. Then on the prelims, first on Fight Pass, we've got Andre Ewell versus Nathaniel Wood and Brian Kelleher versus Montel Jackson, which are 2 bantamweight fights. There's a welterweight contest with Curtis Melander and Sayar Badarasa, and Uriah Hall versus Bevan Lewis from the middleweights. And then 4 different weights for the Fox Sports 1 prelims. The last UFC you'll be ever seeing on Fox, by the way. Unless they do some sort of best-of show next week, but I doubt it. Actually, no, because this is next week, so it probably will be the last thing you see on Fox before it transfers over to ESPN. BJ Penn versus Ryan Hall in the lightweights. Douglas Silva de Andrade. God, that sounds so much like the Andrade enormous. Taking on Petr Yan in the bantamweights. Kat Zingano versus Megan Anderson in the women's featherweight division. And Andrei Arlovsky versus Walt Harris from the heavyweight. So, yeah, what I was trying to do is look at the list of champions that we've got. So obviously Cormier's heavyweight champ. The likelihood is it's Lesnar. When that's happening, who knows? John Jones is facing Gustafsson to find the new champ, even though it was Jones, but it got vacated because of the suspension and then given back to Cormier, but that'll get stripped as of Saturday. Unless, of course, there's another failed drugs test. Robert Whittaker, I think, is fighting February time-ish. Have I got the card? There it is. No, it doesn't say when his last fight was in June, so he hasn't fought in a while. Colby Covington got stripped of the interim title on September the 8th. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. So Tyron Woodley's champ. Oh, yeah, because that was the last match that he had. I think Tyron Woodley's got one coming up in a couple of months. Khabib, well, we know what happened with Khabib and Conor McGregor. You know, that's obviously a bloody who knows. Max Holloway just defended his title for the featherweights. In the bantamweights, TJ Dillashaw is out injured, so that's having to be rescheduled. Henry Cejudo, that fight was supposed to happen, but that got called off. Cyborg's fighting. Nunes is fighting, even though obviously, you know, her last defense actually of that title was back in May, so she hasn't fought since. Valentina Shevchenko won the flyweight title. At the start of the month, basically. Thug Rose hasn't fought since April, but I think they're lining that up for an early 2019 thing. So yeah, you're sort of, if you're looking at the champions, there isn't a whole lot of, I mean, I'd say Thug Rose is on the rise. I'd say she might be the woman to watch, maybe, depending what happens with Cyborg and Nunes. Because obviously Nunes will still be champion, even if Cyborg, you know, beats her. But then, of course, if Nunes... That's the weird thing. Because Nunes could drop the title and move up to the other division, despite the fact that arguably the bantamweight title is the division to be in, because it's the one that Ronda Rousey championed. But because Cyborg doesn't want to cut weight, That's why they created the featherweight championship, pretty much. So yeah, it's well. The problem is when you've got your biggest character suspended because of that stupid fucking fight that they had. You know, Khabib and Conor. What are you supposed to do?
Right.
That's the big issue. But just the hassle. Apparently, as well, just looking at some notes here. Apparently, Texas were also willing to license Jones, but the Forum was the only venue that actually had a date where they could short term sort of put the UFC in for.
Mm-hmm.
What concerts are in Austin or Houston or Dallas or whatever? Who knows? But clearly, it meant that they couldn't really do anything. So it should be an interesting card because of who's on and everything. But at the same time, if we don't see many people, in the venue, and or it's a really lackluster fight card, which, as I say, as I run through the card, it doesn't look like it should be. But if it is, it's really going to be a case of, shouldn't you just scrapped it and or even just move Jones Gustafsson off? And that's, oh my god, I've just noticed the irony. Guess where UFC 233 was supposed to be, Owen?
Where's that?
Anaheim, California.
Interesting.
So if they hadn't have cancelled that, you could literally have moved Jones and Gustafsson to the January show. Have Cyborg and Nunes on. Maybe get another fight to go in the card to replace Jones and Gustafsson. Although on such short notice, I doubt you could. And you would have actually been able to deal with it. But because they cancelled it weeks ago, they sort of got left with nothing to do. The irony of timing, I guess. Jeez. So yeah, thankfully there's no. I better check if there's actually any Bellator coming up early in 2019, because the next UFC show after this weekend is actually like January the 19th. So quite a while away. Where is it? I don't want to see 2018 in mixed martial arts. I want to see 2019, please. Yeah. Oh, of course. The next Bellator card is the one that was going to go head to head with UFC. Ironically, at the same venue, the Forum in Inglewood, California. So yeah, there'll be MMA news probably over the early part of the new year, but there won't be any cards for us to run through, which I guess is good. At least for Owen, because he normally sleeps for the MMA stuff.
Yeah.
It's not his bag.
No.
Unless some crazy shit goes down like Khabib and Conor. So although Raw was taped last week, transition, there were a few new things added here and there which were not. I'd say overall it was an okay show. Nothing special, especially for a holiday show. Elias said that, you know, the truths that follow everybody around at this time of year: peace on earth, goodwill to all man, or goodwill to your fellow man, and that WWE stands for Walter of Elias. It's better to give than receive, and he's going to give everybody the gift of defeating and humiliating Lashley. And then he did a Christmas song. The fight was okay. Yeah, we had the Legos incident, which they talked about, we talked about last week when it happened. Elias used apparently a fire extinguisher. Elias also got a bowling ball and rolled it into Lashley's groin. Then that person's report, that said that he hit him with a violin. You know what a violin looks like, Owen?
Do I know what it looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play one. Well, it didn't work very well, but I
Because
tried.
Elias actually opened up a cello. Apparently, somebody thought that was a fucking big violin. Also, I don't know whether that Elias cello double bass was a nod to Braun Strowman earlier on in the year. And that happening. And Rush got cookies pushed into his mouth and eggnog poured all over him. This is the big thing. Bloody Vince McMahon Claus is going to be here. Spoilers, this was actually taped clearly somewhere at Stamford because it wasn't anything and whatever. Heath Slater says that he and his kids want Uncle Rhino back for Christmas. Then Rude and Gable beat Revival. The key thing to note about this, considering again it didn't come out in the notes last week, Scott Dawson got pinned despite the fact that Dash was actually the legal man. So technically the Revival still have a claim that they were cheated. So I guess the new regime didn't change anything, did it? B team were backstage singing Christmas carols, trying to get Apollo Crews to be part of the B team, but he said he's already done his Christmas shopping. Then Lucha House Party were doing their Christmas list. Kurt Hawkins' Christmas list was wanting to win a match. And No Way Jose is going to bring the universe and his conga line to the North Pole. Which means he was actually seen on television this week. My God. Then Dolph Ziggler's selfie promo saying that he wanted Shane to give him his best in the World Trophy. Because he wants a Dolph and Friends special on Netflix and proof that he's that damn good after beating Finn and Drew. Which I'm going, one, you're stealing gimmicks from Triple H. And two, why the shit would they give you a Netflix special? They only give Netflix specials to people that aren't funny, like Adam Sandler. That being said, the tribute that he did to Chris Farley was pretty fucking awesome. Then there was a Drew McIntyre promo saying that he wasn't worried about Balor and Ziggler taking him out. After he disposes of them, he'll go on to win the Rumble and fulfill his destiny. So I guess Drew's claimed his place again. Maybe, I can't remember. Finn Balor actually won the triple threat with a coup de grace on both of them, and then Ziggler got a shotgun drop kick, and then another coup de grace. I see. No, Ziggler was trying to pin Drew, and he coup de grace them to break up the pinfall, and then the coup de grace on Ziggler itself. Drew then tried to beat up Dolph, trying to save this place, and Ziggler keeps screwing everything up. You're pathetic. There isn't enough room here for both of us. And then, just as Drew was going to beat up the referee, Dolph hit the zigzag on him. So this must continue, which we'll get to. Then there was a tribute to the Troops thing, of which it was actually a pretty... Did you hear about the main event of Tribute to the Troops?
Mm-hmm.
It was AJ and Seth versus Brian and Ambrose. And it was actually pretty damn good. It made up for the women's match being sort of average. So then B Team were backstage again. Bo pushed over a Christmas tree, and he couldn't remember the words, and Curtis was saying that isn't very Christmas-like. Whatever. So then here comes Vince as Santa with 3 wishes for the fans. The greatest of all time, that's his words, not anybody else's. John Cena will be back next year, and he will be on both brands. He will not be brand specific. The interesting thing is, recently, Cena said he isn't going to be on TV for a while, so come to the live events. Despite the fact he's currently advertised for the January 6th show of Raw, which is the first live one back from the Christmas holidays. 2, they will be having women's tag team titles in 2019. Didn't give a date, didn't give any time frame. They just said women's tag champ titles will be coming to WWE next year. And then the third bonus, which I'm guessing is to try and drum up ticket sales for the tapings this Friday. And I guess the same will happen tomorrow for Saturday, probably. There's going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage for next week's Raw. And then, interestingly, Vince took off the Santa beard and hat and asked people off camera if they've ever seen Bad Santa. If that's the case, Owen, which woman is he fucking tonight?
Good question.
Then Sasha, Bailey, and Ember Moon beat Mickie James, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke. That happened, and after the faces celebrated, the Riot Squad attacked them. And Paul Heyman sang Silent Night, but changed the words to make it about Brock beating Braun. And Lesnar is the Christmas Grinch. Strowman hoped that Santa would bring him a replica title as a kid, but now he wants the real thing at the expense of Brock. But he's now going to shoot from the hip to Braun. There's no way Santa and Rudolph are bringing Strowman the title. All he's going to get is a big lump of coal. And then here comes Strowman with his elbow wrapped up in an elbow pad, but interestingly, no sling. Basically put a red nose and reindeer antlers on Heyman and called him the red-nosed advocate. And he has a message for Heyman to take to Lesnar. At the Rumble, Strowman will be healed up, and Lesnar's going to get these hands. Then Natalya is interviewed saying, it's been a tough year, but she's determined, focused, and ready. And the Raw title would be a great gift for her family. Then we had another Christmas list thing for Santa. Alexa isn't asking Santa for anything because she's perfect. She wants Santa to bring Bailey a personality, Sasha Banks some humility, nothing for Natalya because she's a lost cause, and some good makeup for Ronda Rousey. I can't boo her. That's brilliant. Tyler Breeze wished for a speedy recovery for Fandango and some Ariana Grande tickets. And then, interestingly, he was told you can only wish for one thing. So, of course, Tyler Breeze went, I'll go for the Ariana Grande tickets. Please tell me that's going to become into a feud where Fandango's going to beat the shit out of Tyler Breeze. Because you wanted Ariana Grande tickets. Thank you, next. And then Ronda won. With a pretty impressive finish, which you'd expect, because obviously it's the trainer and the trainee. Basically, Rousey got put in a sharpshooter. She tried to make the ropes, but Natalya pulled her back to the center of the ring. Then pulled her back again when Rousey went for the ropes, but Rousey managed to reverse it into an armbar and win. It was a very well methodically put together transition from submission to submission. I will say that. Then Rousey checked on her immediately afterwards, helped her up, and they hugged, and it was all nice and all that. Then Dean cut a video promo saying that he wants to wish Seth good luck against Baron Corbin, but except he doesn't because he's a gullible fool who probably believes in Santa Claus, and he won't get what he wants for Christmas this year. But I got what I deserve, the IC title. If you lose, if you lose, Seth, it will be a lousy Christmas for you. Then Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal. Heath won by DQ because the Singh brothers came in for an attack. Except then Santa came into the ring, beat up the Singhs, and then gored Mahal. And yes, it is Santa Rhino. And Heath and Rhino had a hug and all that. B Team singing backstage still. I don't think that goes anywhere from this point. Then Seth's interviewed about how he can stay focused on Corbin despite Ambrose, and it says life's about moving forward and focusing on putting away Corbin once and for all. You can't take my reputation and my heart. Seth wins with a curb stomp, and that's how the show ended, I guess. The key thing, if you notice, nobody worked twice. Well, yeah, I guess Natalya worked. Natalya worked twice, and I guess the women did, because all 6 women were in the Rumble thing. I can't even remember the name of. And maybe Finn. But yeah, I'd say all in all an okay show. For a holiday show, it's probably better than some. Maybe. I would talk about Impact, Owen, except there isn't anything to talk about because last week's episode and this coming week's episode are best of 2018 episodes. They aren't actually bothering putting out new content, which is a shame. The only thing we can talk about is they're moving channel again. Have you even got this channel? Well, you've got TV, haven't you, Owen? Owen? Owen?
I'm here.
You haven't got the Pursuit channel, have you?
I don't even know. I don't have TV. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah. I was just double checking. I was trying to ask you that. I was getting sleep. Yeah. Impact is moving to the Pursuit channel. So it's no longer on Pop. So we're the exclusive home of Popcasts. You can't do any other shit. Yeah, so the weird thing is they're moving onto a channel which has less viewership than Pop. So I don't know what they're trying. I know it's within the Anthem network sort of structure, but still, just seems like a mess, in all honesty. In a big old way. Don't look really fun. So with the NXT UK stuff, Devlin beat the Wild Boar Mike Hitchman. Fabian Eichner beat Eddie Ryan. Mustache Mountain beat Saxon Huxley and Tyson T-Bone, which I think then puts them into the finals for the tag title thing. I think, unless they haven't aired that yet, in which case spoilers. And then Rhea Ripley beat Isla Dawn to retain the NXT Women's title. And then in the second episode, Tony Storm beat Charlie Morgan. James Drake and Zach Gibson beat Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. Apparently, the mixing sound on this was a little bit bad. I know I've only seen clips on YouTube, but like some of the audio was really not good. Nina Samuels beat Killer Kelly. And Joe Coffey beat Kiwi Buzzsaw Travis Banks. Apparently, though, the next set of tapings are the November ones, so there will be some new faces coming up. I guess they'll technically be the go-home ones as well, heading into NXT TakeOver UK. Or NXT UK. Oh my god, that's confusing, isn't it, Owen? Because wasn't it NXT? No, it was NXT TakeOver London, wasn't it? So it's NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. God, that's a tongue twister. So on NXT itself, Io Shirai and Dakota Kai beat Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir in the Horsewomen's debut, at least in wrestling competition on TV. Not too bad. Dominic Dijakovic made his sort of squash match debut, I guess you could call it, against Aaron Mackey. Heavy Machinery beat an enhancement team. So clearly now that's only trying to beef them up for when they debut on the main roster. And then the Gargano-Aleister Black steel cage match was epic. And then the whole DIY finish at the end was really sort of teasing and interesting. Interesting to see where it goes. With MLW Fusion, the Hart Foundation of Pillman Jr. and Davey Boy Smith Jr. beat Tommy Dreamer and Barrington Hughes. El Hijo de LA Park beat DJ Z. Desmond Xavier went over Andrew Everett. And in the no ropes, no DQ match, which is somehow only went 5 minutes, that seems a bit short. Tom Lawler made, well, yeah, he went for a rear naked choke submission, if I can say it properly. And Loki was wanting Gotch to fight out of it, but didn't. And it's going to be a fight in February. Next week, right in time for the new year, Loki's going to fucking shank Conan. Yay! Christmas is the time to shank your friends, apparently. I guess there is one thing to mention as well from the from SmackDown last week. Mustafa Ali, despite doing a dodgy 054 on Daniel Bryan, managed to beat him. So I guess technically Mustafa Ali could be challenging Daniel Bryan for the title. Oh, and also Mustafa Ali is no longer 205 Live. He's SmackDown. With all these names being transitioned now from 205 Live, I'm wondering how long that show's got left. In all honesty. Because I don't think it's got that long at all. So I don't think there was. Yeah, go away, antivirus. I'm trying to see. Trying to get the list of events that are happening this weekend. From what I can tell, oh no, we've also got TWF. So I think there was news. Yeah, the PWG tickets for Hand of Doom, which is January 18th, go on sale Wednesday, January the 2nd at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So a short window, but at the same time, they're letting people save up, if you will, for the ticket. So. Oh, wow. These ticket prices are interesting, Owen. General admission and standing room is $80. And front row and the opera box plus, oh, I see. It's the opera box is actually the more expensive because it's $100 plus a $25 bar minimum. But that's can be used towards all purchases made at the bar during the event. But basically, from what I can tell, that means free. Or no, 25. You have to spend $25 in booze. So if you want to get drunk, I guess you sort it. So the easiest show to talk about, obviously, is Progress Wrestling's show, Chapter 82, a Dukla Prague away kit. The reason why it's easy to talk about is because it's the traditional unboxing show, which is basically, we're not telling you who's on the card. You just have to guess, basically. Although there seems to be a lot of momentum behind Millie McKenzie versus Volta. People want that to happen. That might be the only one that, although I can't confirm, could be likely. From the other ones, Southside Wrestling is actually doing, wow, 3 shows. Or is it 4 shows? I know they're doing 3 days anyway. Southside makes its debut at the Resistance Gallery in Bethnal Green, which is the Pro Wrestling Eve home for Lethal London. Yeah, Jay Lethal's spending Christmas, New Year away from home because he's over in the UK. Matches confirmed for that one. Millie McKenzie versus Chris Ridgway. Connors and El Ligero versus Burridge and Lynch. Ricky Knight Jr. versus Maverick Mayhew. Kip Sabian and Shana versus the Jaw Droppers. Shigehiro Iri taking on Bad Bones in the main event. Jay Lethal taking on Chris Brooks. Then on Saturday, the 29th, we got a double header. Starting off in the afternoon with a Lethal Day of Reckoning with Shana versus Kanji, who, you know, Defiant Wrestling Women's Champion, despite having only been in the business for a year. I don't know if she's on the level of Ronda Rousey. Although from the match that I saw of her from Eve, because I did manage to catch up on that, she seems solid. I don't know whether they should have given her the world title that early, but there you go. Shug D and Alex Gracie face trial by violence. Or violence, I should say. And Jay Lethal's taking on Ricky Knight Jr. And then on the evening show, Happy Robbie Xmas. The Jaw Droppers defend the tag team titles for Southside against ECK. Shug D takes on Alex Gracie in singles action. By the looks of it, Millie McKenzie's also facing Sheffield's own Shax, even though it isn't listed here. It's listed in the little details underneath. And Jay Lethal was in the main event against Kip Sabian. And then, because there's still not enough, they're also doing a Sunday show featuring Dunkerton and Heron versus Connors and Ligero, Kaylee Ray versus Millie McKenzie which is always a good match. Dan Maloney and Phantasmo in a number one contenders match. Shanna defending the Queen of Southside title in a triple threat against Zia Brookside and Chris Wolf. Oh, I really hope Chris Wolf wins it. I might be biased, but there you go. Then the interesting one. It's GBH of Grizz, Blake, and Kip Sabian versus Robbie X, Styx, and Chief Deputy Dunn. The man that is pinned must leave Southside forever. So I guess the question is, who's moving to another company? Because I know Dunn's been doing stuff already in Defiant, so he hasn't been contracted by the WWE. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then from the couple of shows that at least I can remember for the US side of things, CWF Mid-Atlantic has a show this Saturday. Just wondering if I can check that. Check my emails. There we go. So yeah, CWF Mid-Atlantic has Battlecade 19 this Saturday evening. With this one, we've got the Magnificent Seven RGL title shootout. Basically, it's 7 Rising Generation League wrestlers competing in a one-fall match and a special final for the tournament. PWI President William Cross has ordered Rick Converse versus Smith Garrett to happen for some reason. Kamikaze Kid versus Eric Andrews in a grudge match. Cam Carter, Andrew Wilkins will be defending their Ultra J and international titles respectively. Not sure who against though. Aaron Biggs takes on Otto Schwanz for Otto's worldwide TV title. Redemption defend the Mid-Atlantic tag titles against Corruption. That is Michael McAllister and Nick Richards defending against Ethan Alexander Sharp and the Dirty Daddy. And then Trevor Lee defending against Eric Royal for the Mid-Atlantic heavyweight title, with Eric Royal cashing in his golden ticket, with stipulations to be announced by the coach. He is a coach, apparently. Oh, I actually got an email literally an hour and a half ago in my old folder. So apparently there is also a Pro Wrestling Revolver show this Friday in West Des Moines, Iowa. There's going to be a one-night tournament to crown a new champion. We've got Rich Swann versus Larry D, Brian Cage versus Shane Strickland, Jessica Havoc versus Matthew Palmer, and then Trey Miguel, JT Dunn, and Ace Austin in first round matches and triple threats. Obviously, there'll be semifinals and finals for that as well. OVE are facing the Super Besties of ACH and Matt Fitchett and David Vega. Jimmy Jacobs goes one-on-one with Eric Cannon in a Christmas present death match. I'm guessing that involves barbed wire, wouldn't you say, Owen?
I'd say so. That's probably a good bet.
The Rascals defend the Pro Wrestling Revolver tag title, against the Crew of Jason Cade and Shane Strickland. Should be a good one. I'll bring that email up as well. Also, Beyond Wrestling, their New Year's Eve show. Which, from the looks of it, considering it is starting local time at 9 o'clock, it will be going into midnight again. The match is set for this one. Matt Cross versus Andrew Everett. Simon Grimm taking on Timothy Thatcher. John Walters taking on Wheeler Yuta. Stokely Hathaway versus Eddie Kingston. God, that could be a massacre. The Beaver Boys take on... Actually, I don't know. Because it just says here, the 2018 Women's Wrestling Revolution tournament for tomorrow tag team tournament winners. But it doesn't actually say who they are. Oh, wow. John Walters is the former Ring of Honor Pure champion. Wow, that's a title name that I haven't heard in ages. Nowhere are they listing what's happening with the... I see the picture says that it's the women's wrestling. I don't see who won the... Hang on. I'm having to go to Cage Match to find out what happened in their tournament for tomorrow thing. Except it isn't even listed. Bloody hell. Can you find out, Owen, or not?
What's going on?
I'm trying to find out who won the Women's Wrestling Revolution tournament for tomorrow. Have to just go to results and hope that they're there.
Beyond Wrestling?
Yeah, but it said it was the Women's Wrestling Revolution, which is a separate entity. Which I can't see as... Did they have it earlier on in the year? Oh, no, that was last year, but that was... Oh, are they having a Women's Wrestling Revolution show as well? In, like, the afternoon? Because that's the only way you could explain it. Yep. Because it's a separate thing. It's not in my Facebook feed. Yeah, so in the afternoon, they're actually having the women's tournament for tomorrow. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, I should have expected it. Right, see if I've got a list of... I'm trying to see if we've got a list of the matches. No, we haven't. So it's an absolute mystery. Although we do know that Shotzi Blackheart's going to be a part of it. Considering the poster, it looks as if Hollydead's going to be part of it. Solo Darling. What was her name from bloody Impact?
Which one?
The black one with the frizzy hair. I can't remember. Marty LaBelle.
Yeah.
She's going to be part of it. Kimberly's going to be part of it by the looks of it. Chris Statlander has been added to the show. Kylie Ray will be making her Women's Wrestling Revolution debut. Okay, so we do know the teams by the looks of it. Team C Stars are in. Team Adams, which is Tasha Steele and Karen Pugh, are in. Davien and Vianette, Black and Blue, are in. Kimberly and Skylar. Tara Calloway and Harlow O'Hara. The Bird and the Bee, which is Willow Nightingale and Solo Darling. The Twisted Sisters of Thunder Rosa and Hollydead. And The great thing is they're saying that's 8 teams. Let me just recount. Yeah, it says Twisted Sisters are the first team, and then the next post that's relevant says that the Bird and the Bee are the third team. So I don't know who the second team are. So whoever wins that will fight later on the night against the Beaver Boys on the Beyond show. Because there doesn't seem to be an actual card for the women's show, so sorry. David Starr's taking on Chris Dickinson, and Starr's last match, I think, before he makes a long-term residence in the UK for shows and whatever. Nick Gage takes on Josh Briggs in a Fans Bring the Weapons match. And then the Powerbomb Independent Wrestling title on the line with Tracy Williams defending against Orange Cassidy. That is going down. Let me see if there's anything else happening this weekend of major note. Oh, of course. Why did I not? I completely forgot. AIW. Last show of the year with Tanaka on it. Welcome to the party, pal, and all that this Friday. Got to scroll through to find the card because it won't be on the normal page. Wheeler Yuta's taking on Lewis Linden. Masato Tanaka versus Nick Gage. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams taking on Matt Cross for the Absolute title. Matthew Justice defends the Intense title against KTB, Carl the Beast. Weird World defend the AW Tag Belts against former champs to Infinity and Beyond. Then Duke Money of Duke. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it's going to be. Yeah, it's the team of Duke Money, along with All Ego, Ethan Page, and Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham, are taking on Pretty Boy Smooth, Kikataro, Colt Cabana, and Swoggle. That's going to be a thing. And Zach Thomas, Eddie Kingston, Dominic Guarini, and Joshua Bishop go at it in a 4-way. I'm intrigued how hardcore Nick Gage and Tanaka is going to be.
I think it's going to be interesting.
That's the best way to describe it. Interesting.
Say the least.
It also looks as if a new, well, I say a newish promotion, I should say. Future Shock Wrestling, which is based in the UK, is actually having a show. I think they're based out of Manchester. Although I can't find. Oh, maybe. Oh, no, there we go. I've joined a group for maybe no reason. There we go. Show's happening this Thursday with semi-finals and the finals of the Future Shock Championship tournament, apparently. David Starr was set to be on the show, but he can't now compete. I think we know why, because of his bloody American bookings. More than likely. Wolfgang versus Kev Lloyd, though, is supposed to be on it. So, okay, so that was one half of the semi-finals. So John McGregor's either going to get a bye or have to face somebody else. So I have to see what happens there. Just scrolling through the list of stuff happening this weekend because I actually remembered the Access. Oh, another one that I completely forgot about, even though they normally have a show at the end of the year. God damn it, Christmas makes me forget stuff. AAW over in Chicago having their last show of the year. Of course, it's the Windy City Classic. number 14. So with this one, we got a double dog collar chain match with Jessica Havoc and Paco taking on Jimmy Jacobs and Josh Briggs. Six-man tag with, six-person tag with Scarlett and the Bessies in the World taking on Quinn Mackay, Jake something, and Kurt Stallion. ACH and Eddie Kingston go at it in a grudge match. AR Fox and Myron Reed, sorry, Matt, bad pronunciation there. Defend the tag belts against the Rascals of Wentz and Xavier. Kylie Ray defends the women's title against former champ Kimberly in her rematch. DJZ defends the Heritage Championship against Bandido. And then Brody King versus Sami Callihan in a steel cage match. Considering Brody King's Ring of Honor stuff, logically that means Sami must be probably winning this, right?
I'd say so.
I'm guessing. Sort of makes sense. Just looking through the list, see if there's any other promotions that I recognize that we haven't mentioned yet. I don't think so. Got all the South Side, got all the Progress. And then there's... It sort of seems like there ain't that much even next weekend, Wrestle Kingdom weekend happening either. The only one I can remember is obviously Fight Club Pro, but that's like Hurricane Hall, and that's Monday, I think. But so we'll have to cover the results from that on that Monday's Popcast Raw thingy. Just having a quick look again to see if there's any sort of news that we did miss. Oh, Shane Taylor signed an exclusive contract with Ring of Honor, but he's going to be sticking around for a bit. Oh, Stardom's going to be doing a WrestleMania weekend show in New York with the roster. How many of them are going to try and get tapped up by WWE? But that could be fun. New Beginning in the USA tickets have already sold out for both shows, but they will be adding a second wave of tickets coming soon. There we go. Cain Velasquez and Francis Ngannou's headlining the February UFC on ESPN event. I vaguely remember that. Also, Matthew of Botchamania might be losing a job. Because Botch Club, hosted by Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, is going to be airing on the network this week. They're doing a whole load of, I guess it'd be the equivalent of TV pilot period.
Mm-hmm.
So, last night on Sunday, there was Fashion Files Cold Case Unit. With the network description saying it's do or pie for detectives Breeze and Fandango as they close in on Kevin Owens' mysterious pie-faced perpetrator. So whatever that is, who knows? It's also aired on Raw after Raw tonight, so I didn't see that. Then Christmas Day, so later on today, will be Xavier's Arcade Challenge, which will basically be... it says Xavier Woods invades the arcade scene in the city of brotherly love, and he's seeking a challenge in the retro gaming classic NBA Jam. What's that city again?
What city?
It's City of Brotherly Love's New York, isn't it?
Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Long day.
Yes, I agree.
Then on Thursday, WWE Kitchen SmackDown basically going to be Iron Chef, except it's hosted by Bo Dallas. And will be featuring a cook-off with Dana Brooke, Alicia Fox, and Curtis Axel. And judged by Noel Foley, Enes Kanter, and Mark Henry. Did they choose Mark Henry just because he's fat, because they think he likes food? That's stereotypical. And then the one which could be worrying to Matthew, Botch Club, airing on Friday, hosted by Anderson and Gallows. Because apparently it's Gallows and Anderson watching acrobatic attempts gone awry and take a deep dive into the circumstances behind the infamous Titus Worldwide. As in the botch at the Greatest Royal Rumble, I'm guessing. I know that there was some sort of like tweet that Matthew put up because somebody said, I guess the copyright, I guess, you know, the channel, you know, the channel is going to get killed because WWE won't allow any of their footage in and whatever. But then at the same time, Matthew was being really good with it and saying, oh, you know, there's nothing wrong. And then Avengers Infinity Warring it.
Mm.
Which I won't say what that, you know, if read the tweet. If you've seen Avengers Infinity War, you'll get it. If you haven't, you might still get it because it sort of did wonders on the internet this year. Lesnar has now actually been confirmed for only one appearance, and that is going to be the go-home show for the Royal Rumble for Raw in Oklahoma, which will be January 20th? January 21st. The Rumble's on the 27th. Bandido, who made his Ring of Honor debut, and they announced his signing, he will be making his debut at the January TV tapings. I don't know whether he's anybody that you know about, Owen, but Raul Mata passed away at the age of 71. He was a star over in Cali, sort of in the late 60s, early 70s-ish. Still holds the reign for the longest Mexican national light heavyweight champion. Which is a pretty ridiculous record when you think about it.
Yeah.
To have. Did independent shows in Florida into the early 90s, apparently. As well. He also headlined the EMLL anniversary show, beating Katsushika Shibata, which is Katsuyori Shibata's dad in a hair versus hair match. So actually, Shibata's a second generation wrestler. Didn't realize that. Didn't realize that.
Well, I need to.
Also, apparently, I just wanted to mention as well. Elgin tweaked his left knee or something, so he's injured. So Yuji Nagata is replacing him alongside Jeff Cobb and Dave Finlay for the pre-show gauntlet 6-man thing to determine contenders, more than likely for the New Year Dash show.
So
I'm guessing we got comments in the chat.
And a little bit. Jeremy wished us Merry Christmas.
And to you, and to everybody.
Yes, Bry Guy wanted to say the same thing. Also to AJ as well. I'll make sure I can get the message to him. Oh, I'll give you a heads up, guys. Notice there's nothing on the network. This video is not going up for a minute. There's nothing on Sunday. The Versus was supposed to be finished, but due to Christmas, it was kind of pushed back a little bit. So we're going to be a couple days behind.
I can't remember whether I've sent you the McDonald's one.
I have nothing new.
No, but like from weeks ago, can't even remember. I might have to send. I can send that over to Phil.
You can't send me something, yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I work 8 to 4 tomorrow. April and I are actually going to get to run tomorrow because it's Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be great. And then I'm back to working out. now we're back to like work the next day and everything. I mean, I don't have a day off for a while, so getting all the overtime I can at this point.
Looks like I haven't. I'll be sending that overnight for Owen to pick up.
Yeah. The verses will be up later.
Also, ROH apparently has announced Mark Haskins will be part of those January TV tapings as well.
So,
by the looks of it. Any other comments?
no, I think that's it. I think that's our show.
People were just wishing us the Christmas.
Yeah, so I mean, we didn't mention Christmas right when it first happened, but yeah, if you were celebrating, then definitely I want everyone out there to have a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I know it sounds really like cliche, but we truly want that to happen for everyone. 2018 was a really great year for us. Really great year for us as a network. Great year for me personally. Got to live out a lot of my dreams. Still shooting for that one last one, but we'll see where that goes.
I don't know if it's been a great year for me because I didn't want to be in a car accident.
I actually got in a car accident. That wasn't good. Completely disappeared from the network for the entire duration of Horror Nights.
And
we'll be returning on New Year.
Maybe New Year's Eve.
We'll be returning on New Year's Day.
Right.
New Year's Eve, I'm going to be at SeaWorld actually, so doing something I've never done before.
We'll be able to rack to Raw and SmackDown for a change.
Me.
A couple of Pack. Are we on Pack Watch now? Maybe.
Sure, we can go with that.
Because Defiant Wrestling have announced Pac versus David Starr for their January 5th loaded tapings. And then OTT have announced Pac versus Neville. No.
That's not possible.
No. See, it's even better. Pac versus Volta.
Oh, wow.
Is happening. Also, best tweet of the week comes from Pac. Let me get the tweet so I can just see it. Yeah. Christmas is better than the nation of Japan. No title defense at Final Gate. See you next year, Dragon Gate. Maybe. So yeah, Pac was not part of the final show of the year for Dragon Gate. Which is interesting. Their final show is actually tomorrow in Sambo Hall, but it's the last pay-per-view, the last major stuff. Big Ben winning the Twin Gate titles was the only title change on that show. Anyway, had a decent attendance of about 4,000 as well, so that's pretty good. Oh, and Jericho Cruise 2 got announced as well, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Although that's all we know about it at the minute.
More information coming after the first of the year.
Yeah, no dates yet. Oh, God, does that mean it's going to be part of All Elite Wrestling?
Could be.
It might have to be, innit? It's all that's left. It's just the timing. Anyway, I think that is the lot.
Okay. And so everything will get caught up soon. We're back next year, obviously, here on our Monday. This will be a Tuesday wrestling podcast on New Year's Day. More information coming on my Twitter at Popcast Network is how you can follow the network, but check at Sir Owen Disney, of course, for all the information. Ashley, where can you find you on social media?
At least with that as well, we'll be able to start an hour earlier.
Perhaps. Yes.
Well, because SmackDown finishes at 10, so
unless something happens, we have to cancel.
Yeah,
but
no problem.
That's up in the air.
But we got the film one anyway, haven't we? Maybe.
Don't know exactly when that's going to happen either. We're going to work into that.
Okay. I'm on Twitter at AshesMyNameUK, where I've tweeted a lot of Harry Olwani's tweets about this UFC thing. If you want to see the full details. The one thing I also forgot to mention, Gustafsson, the guy that's facing John Jones, apparently didn't find out until he got off his plane trip going around the Grand Canyon. Which is a bit fucking awkward, isn't it? You have all that fun. Oh, we're having to fly you to somewhere else as soon as you get off the helicopter.
We're back here on the 30th for sure for the Golden Globes predictions.
Oh yeah. So we're going to do Golden Globes predictions, and then before the Globes, we do the Oscars. Or are we somehow going to combine them?
No, we're not. We don't combine things.
No.
So we'll get it taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's going to be your show. Don't forget, Gaming with Ash and Snack Stash will be returning soon.
Well, I'll be sending the Snack Stash video over, so it might just be as soon as tomorrow.
Today. Or another day. So that's your video, everybody. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. An abbreviated version of the Monday Wrestling Podcast, given the fact there's really not much to do because it's Christmas Day. So,
apart from if you're a UFC fan, in which case, book a ticket to California via bloody Vegas.
Yep.
You bastards.
So, as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased. And once more, you have chosen a Popcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Mm-hmm.